Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share an album, pages from a couple of different albums here. I have several pages to share with you today. They are from Everyday Life, album 31 at my website, and Travel Scrapbook, which one is it? 25, a few pages from the Eagle Count. I shared it earlier, but all the pages weren't there. So, to begin with, this is a beach scene where there was a lighthouse, but it is a beach scene. It's in Point Roberts. It's an American place, but it's sort of isolated. You have to go through Canada to get to it. Anyway, we used to live near there and cross there all the time. So I'm missing the photos on these pages, and it shows where I've ripped them off, but I thought I liked some of these layouts, so I thought I would share them anyway. So I did a lighthouse on the side, a great big wide border. Because it was an ocean, a sea page, I had this fish paper, which I just thought was perfect. Made a beautiful border and edged it. And then I used a big block of the rest of that sheet of paper here, and I matted it and used it for the background here. I then did a border of sailboats there and up there, and I tucked a little circle back there as the sun setting. I did some birds flying in the sky, and then it was windy there, and there was lots of driftwood and sand and that, so I just did some blowing grasses and reeds. I added a little light beam out of the lighthouse here, so anyway, I like this page a lot, so I thought you might. So this one is that same beach. There were so many logs around the beach. They were strewn everywhere. It was a very natural place, so it was just pictures of all the logs. So I used the logs that I could find in Design Space. I did a pelican sitting on a log here. I added, this is just a sticker. I used Kiwi Lane borders at the background, and just tufts of grass here and there and there. This is a board, a surfboard. I just stuck that in behind there. Cute little frog there for interest, and a couple of little butterflies. Cute outdoorsy. Could be a camping page too. This is kind of a strange page, but it definitely went with my photos. You can see them if you go to my website. There are Design Space links for all these pages. There's a link below to my website. Okay, one of these photos was a post, and it had been cut off the top, and there was grass growing out the top of it, and someone had drawn a mask, this face on it. So that's what was here, and I recreated it over there. So there's just blocks of different colors of papers on the backgrounds, and then because this was so eccentric an image, I found these kind of edgy borders, and so I used the images and the matching borders just to decorate and balance the page on both sides. So I grouped my photos in a circle, triangle here, and that's that. This was a page for herons. You can see where I tore the paper ripping the photos out. Anyway, so this is the most beautiful heron image from Design Space. I used Kiwi Lane images at the background, all coordinates. And then I used one of the papers for one layer of this image. I like doing that. It gives it more texture, and I think it makes the images look more realistic. This one I used a smaller, more subtle print but it's still a coordinate. I have matted this photo in that same print. And just put a title on it. This is a purchased border, and so I just mounted it on paper that I had punched border on both sides. This is a store-bought border of dragonflies, and I just cut it and put it in 2 different pieces, one on each side. That's the page. This is in the town in Point Roberts. There's shops there. This was a most unusual, interesting antique shop, and so they had unusual things like outdoor carriage with a planter in it, and this was an old washing machine, wringer washer, so they had used that as a planter as well. So there were lots of wooden carvings. So I took it. There was a carriage, so I did a carriage, and there was a laundry thing, so I did a laundry tub and a washboard image, just using blocks of antique-y looking rustic paper, and just put a title on there called Unique, because it certainly was a unique shop. This is around Stevenson in BC. There's a boardwalk there along the ocean, and there's also a cannery, an old cannery. It's now a museum. So this is out front of that cannery, and we did go in and tour it, so there are a few pages of that. So because it was a fishing theme, I found some images of a hook and some lures to use on this page. I did do Kiwi Lane down here, and I did it along the side on this side. And then these are the Cascade, the Kiwi Lane Cascade. So I just put a piece up in the corner as well. Did some nice frames from Elegant Edges and Design Space. And just tucked that photo in between the layers, and this one underneath. So a good fishing theme. Could be for camping too, or cottage. Now this is inside the museum. There were all kinds. They had images of boats set up there with the fishermen in it, and so I did a moving border from Kiwi Lane, and I did the top decoration. These are brackets from them in 2 different sizes. I lifted this top one with foam pads. I did 2 nice frames for the 2 5x7 photos, and then I did a bunch of fish swimming and a boat. These fishermen have lines hung over for fishing. So there's another, you can use that easily for a cottage or fishing page, a sportsman's page. So we go for hikes a lot. There's a lot of bird sanctuaries and trails around where we are, so we drive to different ones and go for hikes with friends. So we went for a winter walk in this bird sanctuary. So I used Kiwi Lane because it's outdoors. I love using them for outdoor things. I used a multicolored print here, and then I pulled the colors from this paper to repeat and make my other 2 patterns. Then I repeated this paper in a smaller border along the top. So I did a stack of oval photos here, and this gave me, by cutting them in ovals, it gave me a little more room for my giant image, because I love my big giant bird right through the middle, and then just a branch in front, a branch behind him, just kind of filling in the space with Cricut images, which I love. This is just a sticker that I had. These flowers, they seem to fit in there. I like them. I did do a frame for this one, and it might be from Elegant Edges. There are several cartridges in Design Space that have frames for pictures. Okay, so this one is, no, this goes this way. I can never figure this out. All right, so this is another bird, well, this is, I think it's the same bird sanctuary as that one. We go here often for walks. It's quite close to us, so I just did a wide border across, and then on top of that I did a border punch on both sides of a lighter green. Then I used that for a frame for all these photos along the water. And then I took a picture of my husband here, so I used the same border punch here and the same colors as that. I found some geese in flight and just put them flying off there, and another canned goose there, and that's just the mountain, a photo of the mountain. I used a corner punch on the photo because it was big blue empty sky there, so I don't like that, so I always use a pretty punch. Then I did the same treatment on this photo as I did on this one, and then I used that same punch to do a circle, an oval actually, behind the duck, because I just screamed for something behind him. I did another pair of geese here, so I just stuck them right on the photo because it's just scenery, so I didn't care if it got covered up a bit. So that's a pretty page. Could be camping, hiking page, bird watching. So this one could also be a camping page, outdoors, nature, and kids even playing. Anyway, so this was birds at a bird sanctuary too. So I just did all kinds of, there was tall grass everywhere, so I did reeds and bulrushes, used Kiwi Lane for the background, and I put, there must have been a heron on this page, so because of the colors, I'm thinking. So I just made frames by matting these photos larger, and I cut a lot into ovals and circles because of the curvy Kiwi Lane. It just flows better with softer shapes. So that's another page done. This one, I love this page. Now this could be a beautiful page for a wedding photo, a portrait, a prom, nature, just a beautiful tree, anything. This was a photo of, these are tulips, so from Art Nouveau. This is a tulip corner rather, and this is from the same cartridge. I had photos of my tulip tree. It took 7 years for that tree to bloom, so it was an event when it finally did bloom. So that's why I scrapbooked my tulip tree. Anyway, this is Kiwi Lane on this side over here, and this vase, like I said, coordinates with this tulip corner. So that's all I'm sharing this time. So I hope you're getting some good ideas. Go to my website for the design space links for any of these pages. There's a link below. Thanks for watching. Happy scrapping.